friends, today we are going to reread the story Abuelo and the Three Bears, but this time we are going to be focusing on figurative language. It was a quiet Sunday. Emilio and his grandfather sat on the front porch. Abuelo, said Emilio, do we have to wait much longer? When will everybody get here? Your cousins will arrive soon, Abuelo answered, and we'll have a fine dinner. I'll tell you a story to help pass the time. Once there were 3 bears who lived in the woods, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and their little Osito. One Sunday morning, Papa Bear woke up as grumpy as ever. Then he smelled something good. Frijoles, he said. Abuelo, you're joking, laughed Emilio. Bears don't like beans. Well, all the bears I know like frijoles, said Abuelo. Papa Bear got up and rushed down to the kitchen. Buenos dias, said Papa Bear to Mama Bear and Osito. Papa Bear sat down at the table and tucked a napkin under his chin. How are the frijoles? Are they ready yet? He asked. Yes, answered Mama Bear, but they're still too hot to eat. I can't wait, said Papa Bear. I'm so hungry I could eat an elephant. Abuelo, said Emilio, bears don't eat elephants. Emilio, answered Abuelo, you must never argue with a hungry bear. All right, let's go ahead and reread page 77 so that you can analyze the figurative language. Push pause if you need to. Okay, I want you to find a phrase that Papa Bear says that is so crazy it can't be true. Yes, if you are so hungry, you could eat an elephant. How hungry do you think that is? Very, very hungry, that's right, because an elephant is very big. So why does the author use this hyperbole, which is an exaggeration? Yes, definitely. I would say to make the writing interesting to read and to make you laugh. Stubborn Papa Bear didn't listen to Mama Bear's warning. Aye, he growled, jumping out of his chair. These beans are too hot. I told you so, said Mama Bear. Why don't we just take a walk into town while they cool? All right, grumbled Papa Bear, whose mouth was still burning. So the bears left their breakfast to cool and went out. Just then, in another part of the woods, a girl named Trencitas set out from her house to visit her friend Osito. She was called Trencitas because she had long black braids. Abuelo, Emilio called out, the girl in this story is called Goldilocks, and she has blonde hair. Goldilocks? Abuelo shrugged. In my story, it was Trencitas in her long black braids who came to visit, and she was hungry too. When Trencitas arrived at Osito's house, she noticed that the door was open, so she stepped inside and followed her nose until she came to 3 bowls of beans. First, Trencitas tasted some of the beans from the great big bowl, but they were too hot. Then she tasted some from the medium-sized bowl, but they were too cold. Finally, she tasted some from the little bowl, and they were just right, so she finished them all up. Go ahead and reread page 80 and analyze the use of figurative language here. Press pause if you need to. So Abuelo says that Trencitas followed her nose. What do you think that means? Do you think she literally, took her nose off and followed it? No, that's right. She walked toward the smell of her food. All right, so what we have here is an idiom. So let's try to think about what this idiom actually means. You use your nose to smell things. If you walk towards something you smell, your nose is helping you know where to go. So, therefore, you're following your nose. Now Trencitas decided to sit in the living room and wait for the bears to return. She sat in the great big chair, but it was too hard. She sat in the medium-sized chair, but it was too soft. She sat in the little chair, and it was just right until crash! Abuelo, what's Trencitas going to do? Asked Emilio. She broke her friend's chair. Don't worry, Abuelo said. She'll come back later and with glue and leave it like new. Trencitas was feeling very sleepy. She went upstairs to take a rest. First, she tried the great big bed, but the blanket was scratchy. Then she tried the medium-sized bed, but it was too lumpy. Finally, she tried the little bed. It was too small, but it was so cozy and soft that Trencitas soon fell asleep. When the 3 bears came home, Papa Bear headed straight to the kitchen to eat his frijoles. "Aye!" he growled when he saw his bowl. "Someone's been eating my beans!" "And someone's been eating my beans," said Mama Bear. "And there's only 1 bean left in my bowl," said Osito. Then the 3 bears went into the living room. "Aye!" said Papa Bear when he saw that his chair had been moved. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." "And somebody's been sitting in my chair," said Mama Bear. "And my chair's all over the place," said Osito. The 3 bears climbed the stairs to check out the bedrooms. Papa Bear went first. Mama Bear and Osito followed behind him. "Aye!" said Papa Bear when he looked in the bedroom. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed." "And somebody's been sleeping in my bed," said Mama Bear. "Look who's sleeping in my bed," said Osito. He ran over to Trencitas and woke her up. Then they all had a good laugh. By now it was getting late. Mama Bear said they'd walk Trencitas home to make sure she got there safely. Papa Bear did not like this idea. "Another walk?" he growled. "What about my frijoles?" "There'll be beans at my house," offered Trencitas. "I'll bet that made Papa Bear happy," said Emilio. "You're right," said Abuelo. Here's what happened next. When they all arrived at Trencita's house, they sat down at a long table with Trencita's parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and lots of cousins. They ate pork and fish and chicken and tortillas and beans and salsa so hot it brought tears to their eyes, and they laughed and shared stories. "So you see, Emilio," said Abuelo, "Papa Bear had to wait a long time to eat his frijoles. But in the end, he had a wonderful meal and lots of fun, just as you will when your cousins arrive." "Is that the end of the story?" Emilio asked. "Yes," answered Abuelo, "and it's the end of your waiting, too." Thank you so much for joining me today, friends, to reread the story Abuelo and the 3 bears and focus on figurative language.